You're pressing high. Your intensity is maxed out. Trigger press more often. Counter press is on. Higher defensive line. Get stuck in, and yet you keep considering the same goal. One vertical pass, one ball over the top, one broken duel. And your entire shape collapses. You don't lose because your press is weak. You lose because your structure is fragile. And most managers don't understand the difference. Today, I'm going to show you why high pressing fails and what the engine actually rewards instead. Because the engine doesn't reward effort, it rewards clarity. Most managers think pressing is all about aggression. Higher line, higher tempo, more pressing, more intensity. But pressing is not about how hard you chase. It's about what happens when the first wave is beaten. High press is often effective if the structure behind it is stable. Think of pressing as the first layer. Your midfielder is the second layer. Your defensive line is the third layer. If the first layer fails, and it will happen sometimes definitely, the second and third layer must always be positioned correctly. Most managers configure the first layer. Very few configure the layers behind it. And that is why press collapses. Not because it wasn't aggressive enough, but because it wasn't supported. There are 4 structural reasons high press fails. Let's go through them properly. Number 1, role mismatch in the front line. For example, if you run 2 inside forwards on attack, a channel forward, an attacking midfielder who is also on attack, and you press aggressively, you don't have a pressing unit. You have 4 players vacating space at the same time. The inside forward tuck inside, the fullbacks push high, and the DM gets isolated. One vertical pass splits your midfield and you're exposed. The engine punishes vertical gaps more than it punishes passive pressing. Pressing without role balance creates vertical separation, and vertical separation kills structure. Number 2 is overcompressed defensive line. If you combine higher defensive line, step up more, counter press, much more, often pressing, you compress space in front, but to stretch the space behind. The higher your defensive line, the more disciplined your pressing structure must be. If one player presses at the wrong angle, one cheap pass breaks everything. One cheap pass will break everything. This isn't bad luck, it's structural overcommitment. Number 3, no decision traps. Pressing isn't about swarming, it's about forcing predictable decisions. If your press doesn't guide your opponent toward a trap, you are just sprinting. Pressing traps matter. Trap outside, force onto weaker foots, cut central lanes. If your opponent can play comfortably into their pivot, your press isn't structured. It's reactive. The engine rewards pressure, not random chaos. Number 4, transition instability. This is the biggest one. When you counter press, what happens if you fail? Do you have a holding DM, a covering center back, midfielder on support duty, or do you have 5 attacking duties chasing the ball? If your transition shape is unstable, your high press becomes a liability. The press must always be backed by a recovery structure. Otherwise, you're just gambling. Now, here is where most people get it wrong. They think the fix is to lower the intensity, but it's not. The fix is in stabilizing the structure. Fix 1, stabilize the pivot. Always anchor your press with at least one defensive spine, one DM on defend, one central midfield on support, a center back comfortable covering space. The pivot is the spine. If the spine bends, the press breaks. Fix 2, control vertical aggression. Instead of higher line, step up more, maximum pressing. Try higher line, standard step up, or mid block plus aggressive trigger press. Sometimes lowering the line increases the pressing efficiency because your recovery distance shortens. It feels less aggressive, but it performs better. Fix 3, reduce attacking duty clustering. High pressing doesn't require every forward to be on attack. Balance duties. Support roles compress structure. Attack roles stretches the structure. Present systems need compression behind the ball, not constant stretching. Press in phases. High press should be a weapon, not your identity. Against weaker team, press high consistently. Against bigger teams, press selectively. Turn it on in zone. Turn it off in building traps. Structured aggression beats constant aggression. When I managed Wolves, earlier in the season, we tried an ultra-aggressive press. It looked dominant, but transitions exposed us. Instead of increasing intensity, I adjusted one midfielder to support, removed step up more, stabilized this support. Suddenly, we weren't pressing harder, we were pressing smarter. The difference wasn't energy, it was structure. Most managers fix symptoms. They concede from a counter, they raise intensity, they press more, they panic. But the engine doesn't reward effort, it rewards clarity. If your high press keeps failing, stop asking how hard you're pressing. Ask what happens when the first wave is beaten. If you don't know the answer, that's the real problem. We don't chase wins, we build structures.